So we're going to have a bit more formalised than our first session 0. So we'll have a few topics that we're each going to run through to talk about a few different bits and pieces. But welcome to season 2. Basically we'll run through our agenda, and then at the end we'll open it up. So if anyone's got any questions or anything that they want to discuss, ask, feel free to sing out. Have you popped the budget up? Cool. That brings me straight into my first couple of topics. All right. So first things first, we just wanted to kind of reset some expectations around D&D here in the shop. And we just wanted to remind everyone, first and foremost, that we're volunteers. So out of some stuff out of the survey, I think you guys hold us to a very high standard, and that's great. Like, I feel like we do try our very best, but some people definitely expect a lot more out of us. And we try to aim for high targets, but we are giving up our own free time. We're enjoying ourselves, we're having fun doing this, and we love putting this all on for you, but we just definitely want to manage that we are volunteers for this, okay? So while you've got high expectations, please also manage those expectations reasonably.
Aim for about my height.
Just on those expectations as well, just some expectations for what we expect you guys to be bringing in sessions and stuff as well. We still have some issues about people bringing things, pencils, erasers, your own dice, miniature, or any kind of token, character sheet, all that stuff. Make sure you're bringing those things with you so you can play and be ready to go at session and time. If you need those things, let your DM know so that we can make arrangements and not be scrambling at 6:30 to find those things for you so we can start on time. Try and be as on time as possible as you can. We understand, we're all adults, these things happen. A bit of notice, we always appreciate it. The main reason that we wanted to have a session 0 today, though, is to talk about a new document that we've created. Excuse me, would you mind holding up the new document we have created?
No, this one.
We have created a Basement Games Westmarches manual, the Westmarches manual. Do you from the back? A lot of what we're going to be talking about is just basically going through what this is talking about. We've just popped that up on the Discord, so if you want to read along, feel free to take your phone out and lay down and talk about this stuff. The first couple of things in the manual are basically about making new characters, just to make things a little bit easier for new players joining in. Clear guidelines that are in there about character creation, where to find character creation rules in the handbook, how we're using the standard array and things like that. Talks about the way we're handling flying speeds and swimming speeds. So those races are allowed to be played, so long as you are not using the flying speed and swimming speed aspects of those races.
Cool. So my little part here that I'm going to be talking about is, that's in the general rules, adhering to the Code of Conduct, the Basement Games Code of Conduct. It is plastered right back there. It's right there. We're going to go through it just very quickly, even though I'm sure we've talked about it a bit. But I'll start off with keep it clean. I'll go up. So I'll go with keep it clean. Obviously, I want you all to be comfortable. We all want you to be comfortable. So during the night, have your little station at the table and everything. But by the end of the night, it would be really appreciated if you guys can just have a look under the table and under the chair, just in case something might have come off that you didn't notice. Like wrappers, chocolates, or like a bottle cap. Sometimes there's things you don't catch when you're in the middle of everything. So just having a look there, even though I know you guys want to go home, just quickly picking those up, popping the table, before they pop in the bin. And if maybe you have some eraser flakes on the table, yeah, just clean it up. So keeping it clean there. Welcome everyone. So making everything, you've all been fantastic with welcoming everyone for like the past year that we've been, doing this. You've been very good at welcoming each other and welcoming new players, but that also means with language stuff. So making sure that we're keeping our language in check. So I'm pretty sure we agree that we're going to be doing it. Yeah. So if you played with me, you know that you played with me and Trent. That we have the rule of if you swear, we will mark you down and then give you guys a disadvantage at any time of our choosing. So that's going to happen across the board now. So you're not safe from any DM from doing it, but also we're not safe either if we do accidentally do anything, which hopefully we won't, but if we accidentally do it, then you can give us disadvantage at any point in time. Now this isn't like a rule so that you guys can just like swear and then just cop disadvantage. This is so we can try to knuckle down on it, but yes, it'll be fun having that as well. And then put fun first. which is going to go through most of my topics. Put fun first does not just mean put fun first for yourself, that means put fun first for everyone in the room, which goes into cooperation. This is a cooperative role-playing game, so when you are playing, that means obviously try to communicate with each other about plans that you want to do, knowing when and when not to talk. So like if someone's doing something or they're in the middle of a roll, they're talking to another player, just making sure that they have the space to do that without getting distracted, so not talking over anybody. And also that means above talk communication, like above table communication, just being able to talk with one another, listening to each other, and not talking over each other. And it also means talking to us as the DMs, as much as we are the opposing force, we are players as well. So we want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to try and help you make some really awesome moments and ideas that you might have. So that means that if you have something really cool that you want to try doing, try telling the rest of the party you are a team, and then try telling the DM as well, as much as you might want to really sneakily get under there and do something really fun and be a surprise to the DM and surprise to everyone. That's going to, it more often than not, makes other players or other characters be put into dangerous situations. So making sure that we're communicating with everyone, that makes sure that we put fun first. The last one there being obey the rules. So if we put fun first for everyone, not just ourselves, if we welcome everyone and keep it clean, then you are adhering to the code of conduct, and we're going to have a fantastic second chapter of the Westmarches if we do that. Fantastic.
I've got a couple of things that I'm going to take away from you guys, a couple of rewards to give you, and a few other things. So I'm taking away character reworks. They're gone. No, so the level 5 rework rule we have removed. So if you're starting a brand new character from session 1, it is what you build. But if you mess it up, you make a mistake, and you come to one of us DMs, preferably on the Discord at an appropriate time, to set up a time to organise it, we will help you make changes that work and not just have you miserable. So if you've made a character and you go, I made a wizard with 9 intelligence and this sucks, we will help you make smart decisions and have a better intelligence score, both in the game and real life.
Just play barbarian.
Just play barbarian. Always play barbarian. We're introducing a level cap. The level cap is still a decent way away for almost everyone. The level cap will be level 11. So once you hit level 11, you will not gain any more XP. You will hit the cap. You can keep playing that character. You can keep going on adventures, but XP will not be a reward that character can get. They can still get gold and have fun with it, but that will be when it goes in. You might go, well, if I hit level 11, I will still want to earn XP. That is when our next thing comes in, which is character retirement. So we haven't fully finished the character retirement stuff because we still got to put the boon system fully into place. But there will be a list of boons that you can get depending on the level that you retire at from 5th level, that if you decide to retire earlier, you'll get, there's a list for 5th level, a list for 6th level, a list for 7th level. And if you retire at, say, 8th level and you want something that's on the 7th level list, you can take one from any of the lists, but only one. You can't get to 9th level and go, can I have 2 level 5s? No, it is one boon that your next character will get when you retire. That's only if you retire. If we manage to do the correct thing and kill you, you get nothing. Good days. And finally, and kind of the big one that I have, is about efficient combat turns. I want to talk about D&D as a game holistically first off, which is D&D is both a storytelling game, but is primarily, in terms of the rules, a combat game. If you pick up the player's handbook, 80 to 90% of that book is dedicated to rules that are about combat, right? So ultimately, combat is what the game is about. And that makes us both narrative designers, as Emily will talk about the narrative, but also combat designers. But in terms of that, we would also like you guys to help us to be able to enjoy that side of the game even more. So we're setting up some rules in terms of asking you to make sure that your turns are prepared in advance, that you are making sure that you have your spells ready with descriptions and saving throws, and not wasting time going, I'm going to cast, blippity bloppity spell, and us go, well, I don't know what that spell does. Have the card, have the book ready so that we can read it, so that we can adjudicate it quicker. If your turn is going to take longer than 2 minutes, we might at some point cut you off if you're wasting time. Now, if you're having a complex turn for whatever reasons, we understand those will come up. It's not we're sitting there with a timer, you hit 2 minutes and too bad, you're done. Yes, all the books are there for you to get. I know some of you do use D&D Beyond. It's very easy to hit it and have the spells come up. Some of you use spell cards. I think those are incredible that you can just pass on to the DM. This is mostly about spellcasters because when you play a barbarian, it is I rage, I hit. You are my favourite people. If you need to have a complex turn or you think you need to ask a DM, will this work? Make sure you've got a backup plan, right? Assume the DM's going to say no, so that when they say no, or if they say no, you can go, sweet, I've got this other turn planned. Because we might say yes, and you might be able to go down that plan, and that's good. But if we say no, and then you're then scrambling there trying to get your turn together, that's wasting more time. So we're just looking for combat, which can already drag out sometimes, to just be quicker, snappier, more efficient, and more fun for everyone at the table. Because as we move quicker through turns, particularly as we get to higher levels and the abilities get crazier, that'll mean that there is more fun and more action happening at the table per minute. So that'd be the best thing. So,
Yeah,
take more stuff away.
I
from the
will
place.
take more stuff. Give it a little. So firstly, any background basically with a feed attached has been pulled out. There's a list there. I don't think I need to read them out to you. You can have a look at them in the Westmarches manual. However, this does include any future backgrounds that come out with feats attached. There's a feed on it, it's no. It's just keeping it balanced, keeping it fair for everybody. The next one that some probably will get a little upset about, but we've taken flanking out. It's an optional rule to start with.
Yeah.
We just think it will help with balancing a little better as things go on. The next one, of course, is critical hits, natural 20s, that kind of thing. Natural 20s only auto succeed for attack rolls, just like natural ones only auto fail in attack rolls. They do not count for your ability checks and that kind of stuff. It is for combat. However, they've been changed basically with the critical hits, your natural 20s, that you roll double your damage dice and add twice your modifier. And that's how we're going to do it across the board for all of us. That way it's the same thing over and over. The next one, of course, is radiation of potions. So we are going with the bonus action to consume a potion, but a full action to administer it to someone else. Which I think keeps things flowing fairly quickly, easily, which goes back into combat efficiency, which I'm going to start here.
More taking things away. So I'm talking about banned spells, and at the moment there's only one banned. That is Silvery Bubs. Now I'm going to explain why I'm taking Silvery Bubs here. Basically, the biggest reason for taking Silvery Bubs out is there's twofold. First of all, is that for us as DMs, the game is also still about having fun. And Silvery Barbs is a very unfun spell because it goes, hey, that thing you just succeeded at, don't succeed at it anymore, and then we'd like to succeed really well at something else. So that is not a great deal of fun for the DPS. But more importantly, it just really sucks. So going forward, that's the only one we've got currently. We may ban more spells in the future, depending on how they come up. And if you have spells that you find particularly frustrating in the game from a player perspective as well, we would love to hear about that. Please let us know so that we can get them on the list. The next one is one that I'm trying to make a little more simple by making it much more complicated, which is counterspelling and priority. So for countering spells, the general practice has been that once someone is countering a spell, it's the first person to yell really loudly and point at me very aggressively that they are counterspelling is the person who's going to cast a spell. And that's great, unless you're me who doesn't like being pointed at on your back. So to make things easier, we're going to create a system of priority for how you're going to counterspell. And that's the initiative order. It's very easy. Whoever casts the spell, the next people in the initiative order are the first people who have the chance to counterspell. If you'd like to know what the spell is, you can make an Arcana check as a reaction, as per the rules in the book, to find out what the spell is. But if you do that as your reaction, you can no longer counterspell because counterspelling is a reaction. Nice and simple, hopefully fairly straightforward. If you don't understand one little more explanation, come and let me know. So adding into the game, because a lot of people have asked about it, some simplified rules on crafting things. It's going to add some simplified things for some people, and it's going to take away some simplified things for a very small group of people. But basically, Whenever you want to do any kind of crafting, you'll find the exact rules in the manual here, but you'll be able to make 2 days of progress per session when you attend, or you'll be able to make more days of progress when you take downtime, which is no longer be downtime, it's going to be missed sessions. Basically, missed sessions now will not net you any experience. And that'll make a little bit more sense when we talk about some more stuff that's coming later on. But essentially the idea is meant to be for us that you can still progress projects that you're working on, but if you're not out adventuring, then you're not really gaining the benefits of adventure. And it kind of sucks for some people. Yes, I totally understand that. But for the way that we're trying to balance things and trying to have a diverse variety of levels, if we're handing out experience to people who aren't turning up, it means we're still keeping people clustered together in close mesh, close net. So this creates that kind of wider berth of levels. If there's any particular issues that you see this arises, please, again, like with everything we're talking about here, come up, let us know, have a chat about that as well. That's most of the stuff out of our manual. So now we get on to the really fun, interesting, exciting stuff, which is what is Season 2? And for that, Emily.
It's me. They all took everything away from you, and I'm going to give you fun stuff. That's what I do. This is what I do. So, if you were maybe one of the people who came to the DM at the end of the last season and said, hey, is it time stuff? It's time stuff, right? Then you get a gold star. It's time stuff.
I'm shocked.
So, season 2, everyone is finding themselves displaced in time. We're not revealing when in time you are displaced quite yet. The island is going to be different. Some things are new, some things are the same. There are going to be new settings to explore, some new factions to interact with and contend with, and some new characters to meet and not be on the bad side of yet. So, yeah, it's like yeah. I know who I'm talking to. So that means if you do make a new character in this setting, it is also going to be a character that has been plucked out of time and displaced, so that we're not figuring out exactly where they fit into this setting so far, all the history and everything behind it. We are moving into this kind of new setting, and we've made a few changes in terms of how we're plotting out some different stories and things after looking at the survey that you all did a few months ago, a couple months ago? About a month and a half ago. From all the responses that we got from everyone, a lot of people said that they liked overlapping stories and also consequences from their actions, because you guys do a lot of actions that require consequences. And those are going to be more greatly reflected into the storylines and the worlds. We are all on a few consistent storylines that we're going to chop and change who takes them each week. So if you want to keep up with a particular storyline, you'll have to look really closely at the quest posters when they go out on the weekend, but also talk to the other players, keep up with the recaps when we do those, and make sure that you're on the Discord and looking at all of those sorts of things. It is going to be more important than ever in this season for everyone to be tuned into the Discord, to be keeping up with what's happening around with everyone's quests. Because there's going to be necessary for there to be some discussions and some big decisions for everyone to make as a collective about how we progress even this season. You wanted consequences, and we're going to give it to you until you tell us, no, please stop. And then we will have no, hopefully it's going to be really, really fun, and we're really, really excited for what we've got going. Am I allowed to talk about the main storyline? Yeah. Okay. There's only one storyline that is the main storyline, and it's not the one that you think. What? So we're really excited for you guys to... We know that you like figuring stuff out, so we're going to leave it really open. It's just going to be a lot of really exploring and talking to each other, and we're focusing on keeping the community and communication up with what we've built here, which has been really fun.
This sheet here, we are moving sort of away from XP to a milestone tracking sheet here. Now, this sheet meets XP. We've set it up so that we can take your current character's XP and put it on this sheet. This will be a sheet that is kept here at the store. Each session you will have your sheet. The DM will put the date, you'll put the date, the DM will sign, and then any of your crafting and downtime stuff Stubbs talked about is then also recorded on the sheet so that we can make sure that everyone is following along with that. This is designed so that we can have a nice curve. We had a small problem with the extra XP where it was working really well for everyone once they hit about level 4, level 5, and that ramped all the way to our level cap. We really like that progression, but the problem is a brand new player 2 here would go level 1, level 3, and skip level 2. And there's a lot of stuff that comes online for players that makes their characters a lot more complex. Think of a paladin who has no spells level 1 and then has a full spell list level 2. They don't get that time to get to know their character and how each part works, which means they're not going to be able to. So the ramp has slowed down a little bit at the start, but the rest of it is exactly the same for everyone and where they're at to right now. We will help everyone tonight to set up their character sheet so it is correct and you're up to the right spot. We're not going to sit down and sign every single one. We're just going to get to the one you're up to and sign up that that's where you're up to. It will be to the 1,000 experience you're at right now. So if you're at, say, random number that I'm thinking of, 44,300 experience, that will get rounded up to 45. Even though he hasn't gotten even halfway, if you are 1 experience point above the 1,000, we are rounding straight up for you. So everyone here gets that benefit of not missing out on something, particularly rewarding players who have been here from the start and therefore have gotten weird amounts. Yeah. So just to particularly reward them. We've decided for Dangerous Quests, because we did like having Dangerous Quests that had XP and higher rewards and stuff like that. We've decided that if there is a Dangerous Quest, it will be worth 2 quest completions. So it's now, instead of 1.5 reward, which is what I was usually handing out, 1,500, it will now be worth 2 quests. That also means we're going to make them twice as deadly and twice as rewarding on the gold and magic items and all that fun. Yeah. So deadly quests will still exist. Higher risk, higher rewards. Otherwise, I think that's everything we have, so it's open to...
Yeah, so we do the fun part where anyone would like to ask any questions. Yep.
The level cap, like you play through 10, reach 11.
Yeah.
If you choose to keep playing, do you then play with level 11 stats?
Yes.
Just not,
Yeah.
not
You're playing your
I don't know
characters,
if
you
you
don't
just
want
kept-
you just don't get any more
Yeah.
XP.
Yeah. So if you, have you got the sheet there? So the experience sheet, if Jordan holds it up, has down the very bottom on the right-hand side, level 11, level cap. You
Yeah.
hit level 11, congratulations,
Yay.
you are, but we're not going to keep signing off stuff for you. If you want me to, I might flip it over and sign it for you, just so you got more of my signatures.
So will it be linear per level, like 5 completions per level? Is that how it works?
So it's still basically based on experience, loosely, but like, so from, if we go this paper,
Don't put it down, Jordan.
yeah, why is it? Just,
Seriously, Jordan.
so you can see here from level 7 to level 9, there's the 8 sessions that it is, or probably 12 more like there, but that equates to how much experience it takes to go from 7 to 9. So we've just kind of simplified instead of making it you have to do your maths on 1,000 experience every session, we're writing it down. The only thing that's really changed, as Joe was talking about, is this earlier stuff at the start. So for level 1, to go from level 1 to level 2 is still only 1 session. But then to go from level 2 to level 3, you've got to do another session, so 1 session of level 2, and then 2 sessions of level 3. It's basically just for those early levels to help a new person mostly. If someone came to the shop and said, I really want to jump into Westmarches, we don't just kind of drop them in the deep end.
Gives them a chance to get the feel for the characters, how it plays, that kind of thing.
Before we murder them level 1.
Speaking of different people, if all the storylines and everything are going to be much more like contained and have longer backstories, how would it be, I guess, to help on board a new player?
Yeah, so my next project, after fixing the corrections from the manual that I've been getting, is to do a character portfolio. The name is completely escaping me. Character Vitae? Yeah. Just basically a portfolio dossier.
A who's who.
A who's who of the campaign, kind of tracking the story goes.
And I think the other part is, if we go to the second point on the code of conduct, welcoming everyone would include getting them up to date
Yeah.
on what is going on and what is happening.
I think Joe just put it very succinctly in that the important thing for season 2 is that each quest will not start in the same place. That is probably the best way of putting it without giving you too much information.
But you also won't be homeless.
Yep. Yes. And it will still start in the same place while not starting in the same place.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's truly a fantasy
Right.
set.
Same place, different times, makes me want to.
You don't know.
Who knows?
The new player's handbook's due to come out soon. Are we going
Which will be a
to?
completely new edition.
So will this season be just based on 5th edition?
We will be
Yes.
staying with 5th edition for the time being. Once the DMs have had a bit more of a chance to actually familiarise themselves with any changes of a new edition, there is the potential of us migrating that way. I would say that's more likely to be a season 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's much more likely that we'll do all of season 2, staying in 5th edition, and any kind of changes happen at that year kind of thing. Just let's do. I did that. Yeah. Great. Any other questions? Yes.
Will personal quests still be kind of sending?
I think the time frame for personal quests is very difficult. So this again kind of comes back to that we're volunteers. So personal quests was a great idea at the start, but timing became a real issue. We're either having to run a personal quest in our normal quest slot during the week, or we're having to give up more of our time during the week to create another night that we could come in and run a session, which is challenging. Me personally, I'm already down here 4 out of 7 nights in a week. So it's very tough for me to get down here another night to run a personal quest. So more likely what's going to happen is that this set of season 2 is not going to have as much time for a personal quest. But if you've got something you want to achieve, let the DMs know, and there is more than likely ways we can tie it into the quests that we're trying to push. So not so much a personal quest, as much as we can put in personal objectives into the quests that we're doing. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there still big huts?
No. Big huts.
Hunts.
Huts. Well,
I remember someone suplexing the Zapdos, and that was pretty hard.
Look, who knows what the quests are going to bring, honestly. It's probably us and
Yeah, we'll let you know when we know.
Yeah, there is one idea that we talked about in terms of a potential quest type that is related to that, and that's all I will say about it.
I will basically say that it's not a firm yes, but it's definitely no.
We'll not confirm nor deny.
Yeah, but I would be, how do I say this? I'd be surprised if Stubbs ran that, is what I would say.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Hi, Hannah.
Royce Cove Gazette.
No, we don't exist anymore.
No, the Royce Cove Gazette currently will not exist. But we, had a couple ideas that we wanted to brainstorm around with player involvement, community involvement, to try and create a gazette that would be not a gazette, but something that would engage the community. So we found, and I don't know how you guys found producing the gazette, but it was definitely tough to get the community engaged with that kind of thing. Not all of us have the time to sit down and read for a couple of hours through the gazette, and that's not always something that everyone finds easily digestible. So we're trying to come up with other ways that we can do recaps and revise on the sessions that have happened. So no, but yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
So similar to how you have flagged for quests that are more dangerous, I wonder, is there a way or a function for you to do the same for quests that are more dialogue? But what's the story?
I think what you'll find is a lot of the feedback that we got out of the survey was that players are genuinely more interested in roleplay things, and that is the direction that we have started to try and take with the store. So, just so everyone knows, so we've tried to formalise our roles a little bit better within how we dungeon master and our clear community we've got going. So we've each given ourselves roles and responsibilities that we've got as our job as dungeon masters we do. So Emily is our creative lead. So we have someone steering the ship finally.
It's all my fault.
She saw an iceberg and...
I would say
Let's go for it.
the general atmosphere of the ideas that we have going so far is that is a lot more narrative driven. So I think the general nature of being more narrative driven is that a lot of our sessions will be RP related. Not to say that combat is being neglected and left behind, just to say that There will be more of those opportunities in sessions.
Feel you up the clock. Michael distressing.
Because keep in mind, the game's name is Dungeons and Dragons, and I like dungeons. So
I like
also
dragons.
remembering what each of the DMs are good at. Like I think the thing that makes the five of us really good as a team is that there are 5 people up here who are very good at very different things of this game.
Would there also be a tag for low-level players if there's a whole bunch of level
Yes.
2s?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think going forward, the plan is to try and have more of those sessions that are more level appropriate to lower level people as well, so that we can get people joining into the campaign, but also to encourage retirement.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
Speaking of the boons and like low level characters, does that mean if you retire like a level like 11 character, you get a boon, you come back to level 1, you die instantly, there goes the boon?
Yes. Any other questions anyone like to ask? Right. If you do think of any other questions that you'd like to ask later or when you're in the shower, because we all do that, then when this post goes up, we're going to have the video, we're going to have the manual attached to it, although the manual might get edited before it goes attached to it. And then feel free to drop questions in there so that we can answer them and have them in one kind of spot or as an FAQ. This post with the video and the manual attached, we will be replacing the previous session 0 pin post. So I'm going to get taken down. And this
Always
one will
be
go
on
up.
time.
Like this. Other than that, let's go up on Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.